about the role of Spain, the legal and the political role, which are quite different. First of all, you all have heard about the issue of Spain as administering power of the Western Sahara. In my opinion, this is not just a historical issue. It's not just a matter for historians. It's also a matter for our daily work. Actually, you know, I will give you the link of the original document in Spanish about the order of the National Criminal Court of Spain, the so-called Audiencia Nacional, dated 4 July 2014, where the National Criminal Court establishes its competence to examine what happened in Academy Zik in 2010, even if it happened after the withdrawal of Spain from the territory. And the reason was that, legally speaking, as Western Sahara is still considered a colony of Spain, and Spain, hence, is still considered as the administering power. Of course, Spain has no presence in the territory. It owns some buildings in the territory. This is another issue, very interesting also, but it's not the political issue, the property of some buildings in the territory. But what I want to stress at this moment is that, legally speaking, this is important because it means that at least with the difficulties that bring the lack of cooperation of Morocco, but anyway, it opens the Spanish courts to examine the crimes committed by the Moroccan authorities in the occupied territory of Western Sahara. Because as you know, Moroccan courts do not want to examine the crimes committed by Moroccan authorities, and the International Criminal Court is very reluctant to enter in a subject like this and others, which are very politically sensitive. So this is one issue that I think it's underused, because it might give much more possibilities to give visibility to the conflict, and also to try to get Moroccan authorities under their responsibilities, their criminal responsibilities. This is a legal issue, but it has also some legal considerations that are linked with what Maître Dever said before. Because since 2006, under the government of Rodríguez Zapatero, the Spanish government tried to implement a new strategy that was to consider Morocco as the administering power of the Western Sahara. Actually, this strategy was an attempt by the new king of Morocco, Mohammed VI, in 2001, 2002, to try to legalize, to give a legal title to its presence in the territory. But it failed. There was an attempt to translate to French what the reports of the Secretary General said in the original document in English, to give Morocco a status of administering power that actually nobody recognizes. But the Spanish government tried to use this kind of title, of fabricated title, fake title, to sign the fisheries agreement with Morocco on the waters of Western Sahara, with the argument that Western Sahara was under the administration of Morocco. But the problem, as Maître Dever said before, is that Morocco now is sovereign. So if they could say, well, we are just an administering power, we should say we are not sovereign. This is not sovereign territory, but it's a colony of Morocco. So now Morocco itself has dismissed this strategy. But anyway, the legal issue remains, because the conflict of Western Sahara is very, very peculiar in the context of the European Union, because it is the only one where one member state is also a part in the conflict. Because it is the administering power of the conflict. It is not the case of Palestine, where no European Union member state is considered as administering power. So from that point of view, the issue of Western Sahara should have much more attention than it actually receives now, because one of the member states is directly involved as an administering power, which still has not fulfilled its obligations, its responsibilities. That is a legal issue which help us to connect to the political side of the question. In my opinion, not just legally speaking, but politically speaking, now in the domestic politics, national Spanish domestic politics, but also in European politics, this feature that Spain is, legally speaking, the administering power, which has not still fulfilled its obligation to fully decolonize the territory, is an argument to bring the conflict to the public opinion that has not been properly used by political actors, even by the Polisario Front representatives and so, because I think this gives this conflict a special feature which does not have other conflicts where the European Union is involved: Palestine, Mali, Sahel, Central Africa, and others. So I think, and I don't want to abuse the time, and I finish now, that the Spanish role on the Western Sahara is not to be considered just as a historical role. Many people say, well, the historical responsibility. And I think we should speak more about the legal and the political responsibility than on the historical one. And I suggest to shift to this language about the legal and the political responsibility more than on the historical responsibility to try to push the conflict to the first to the attention of the public opinion. Thank you.